Now that you know how to access the lab work through the Content tool, let's focus on the pronunciation exercise. There are several listening and speaking exercises that make up the pronunciation materials. Let's click on Lab Work Pronunciation, and let's click on Unit 1 to focus on an example. Let's open Vowel 1, the first activity. This is an assignment activity, and we know this because the assignment tool has the same type of picture or icon. Let's click on Vowel 1. You can see there's a heading and some directions. Next to listening, you can see the link, click here to start. When I click on it, you can see a new tab opens in D2L. You can see I paused the audio file that opened, and if I pause, I can pause and play it, and I can fast forward and rewind as well. I can also adjust the volume as I wish. I can change back to the previous page by simply clicking the tab at the top, and I can click the next tab again to go back to the audio. Back and forth. Listen to the directions and review the keywords. First, you're going to listen and repeat the words you hear. After you finish that, scroll down and you can see there are directions for how to record your own voice. Scroll down and you will see Record Audio. This is the tool you will use. Click there and the page opens. Make sure the flash settings are set on your computer to allow and remember. When you're ready, click the red button and begin speaking the words you heard. Leave, leave. You'll notice each recording is only 1 minute long, but that should be enough to allow you to practice. If you'd like to make multiple recordings, you can certainly do that. Click back on the play button to hear your voice. Leave. If you're happy with it, you can save it. If you'd like to clear it and start again, you can do that as well. I'm going to click Save so I can move on. Notice when I click Save, I have my audio file linked here. I can download it if I want, and I can listen to it again in a media player. Or, if I want, I can cancel it, and I can record another file. I can record as many files as I wish. When I'm ready to submit the work to the professor, I'm going to click Submit to Assignment. Make sure you click Submit to Assignment because if you forget to do that, the professor will not receive your work. Notice when I did that, I received a confirmation message. Now I'm ready to move on to another activity. Before we move on to another type of pronunciation exercise in D2L, notice my progress bar has moved a little bit after I completed the first vowel activity. You can see I have completed 1 out of 27 topics here in Chapter 1. Let's check out another activity, which you can see is an assessment activity. Notice the question mark indicates it is an assessment. Click the link to open it. And in this case, the introduction page is a little bit different. Click on Start Assessment to begin, and then OK to enter the activity. On the left side, you'll notice how many questions there are. In this activity, notice there are 20 questions, and those questions are represented by little discs. If we scroll down, you'll notice the legend. A dark blue disc indicates that you have answered and saved a response. A gray disc means you haven't answered the question yet. It's important that you save all of your answers before you submit the activity. This activity is called Distinguishing Vowels 1 through 4. You're supposed to listen to all 4 vowel sounds, examples of those sounds, and identify the vowel sound that you hear. Like before, there's a link to an audio file. Click here to begin that.
This is a practice quiz for
and
vowel.
Notice it opens the audio file like we saw before. Here, I can also pause, fast forward, and rewind, just as we saw under the Assignments tool. And I can switch back and forth as I need from my browser, from the activity and the audio. In this case, I'm going to listen to several keywords and select the vowel sound I hear. Pause for a moment to complete the activity and come back to learn how to save.
Number 20, sell. cell,
Okay, so I'm just finishing up the activity here, and now I've answered all the questions, and I'm going to save all my answers at once, and when I click Save All Responses, notice all the disks turn dark blue. And now I'm ready to submit the activity for my grade. Click on Go to a Submit Assessment, then click on Submit Assessment. Make sure you don't have any red error messages here. If you see a red error message, then you haven't saved one of your answers. But I'm ready to go, so I'm going to click Submit Assessment, and then once again, yes, Submit Assessment. Now I'll be able to see all of my answers, and I can view my feedback with correct answers with a green check and anything incorrect in red. Also notice I must get 80% to move on. If I scroll down, I can see I've gotten all the answers correct. I can see my score at the bottom and my result. I can also click on View Feedback to see what vowel number I heard and the answer. So far we have practiced with two kinds of pronunciation exercises, both in Chapter 1. These exercises are very similar in all of the other chapters throughout the course. You can see my progress bar indicates I have completed 2 activities in this chapter, and you can see I have 2 checks next to those activities. Once again, this type of activity, Vowel 1, is in the Assignments tool. When I click on that, next to Vowel 1, I can see my submissions. When I click on that submission, I can see the audio files I have submitted, ones I've deleted in the past. I can also click on it again from this page under Assignments and practice the activity once again. Remember, Course Home takes me back to the beginning. I can also click on Content to go back to where I was. The second activity I did was in the Assessments tool. When I click on Assessments and Assessments again, I can also see, again under Attempts, I've completed the activity, and if I ever want to check my answers again, I can click on the gray arrow next to the link, click on Submissions, and then next to Attempt 1, I'll be able to click and see my answers. Now, let's move on to the other type of activity.